Hello class, and welcome to the final week of the course. This week in week 8 we're going to continue on in PowerPoint. Of course, your assignment for the end of the week is going to be a collaboration of doing work in all 3 programs we've looked at this term. But again, there are more features and reading material around PowerPoint this week specifically. So we will get started and kind of go through that beginning on page 910. So as has become routine, take a look at which project files you're going to need from your student data files, as well as what you'll be saving it as. And we're going to go ahead and get started at least in Objective 1. So moving to the next page, as always, go ahead and open up this file here, this P03A Trails. You can either open PowerPoint first and then open it, or you can just go right to it and open it. In this particular case, I'm going to open PowerPoint, and I will go ahead and navigate to that folder. And we're basically looking for this P03A Trails. Go ahead and do the save. As usual, you're going to save it in the same manner with your last name and first name at the front of it. And once you've done that, let's move on to step 2. I'm going to click the Design tab, and in the Variants group, we're going to click the More button. And then we're going to look at colors just to kind of see what kind of effect that has. So go ahead on the Design tab, More, in the Variants, More, Colors, and then you'll see them here. You can see how it changes. In step 3, they're asking us to click green, so we're going to go ahead and click that here. And you should see that here. So in step 3, click green, and then you can compare your screen here to this figure 3.2. And so you should see it, especially on the left-hand side, looks the same as what you see here. Go ahead and save your presentation, and then we're going to go ahead to the next page. In step 1 in activity 3.02, with slide 1 displayed, click anywhere in the title placeholder. On the Home tab in the Font group, we're going to click the Font arrow. Basically, at the top, you're going to see at the top of the font list, you're going to see under Theme Fonts, you're going to see the Calibri Light Headings and Calibri Body Display. And go ahead and compare your screen here with figure 3.3. So here, when you click this arrow, you'll see these two right up at the top. Now, in step 2, we're going to click anywhere on the slide to close the font list. Of course, if you've toggled back over, it'll likely have closed it already. But then in the Design tab, in the Variants group again, we're going to click More, and we're going to point to Fonts this time instead of Colors. And while you're in there, go ahead and point to several of the themes and watch the live preview change. Once you've done that, we're going to go to the bottom of that list, and we're going to select this Trebuchet MS. So again, go to the Design tab, and in Variants, I'm going to click the More button, scroll down to Fonts, and then scroll down, and again you'll see it change as you mouse over the different ones. You want this Trebuchet MS. Go ahead and select that. And then you can once again compare your screen to figure 3.4, and we're going to save our presentation again. On the next page, we're going to begin activity 3.03. This will be dealing with applying a background style. So in step 1, again with slide 1 still displayed, on the Design tab in the Variants group, we're going to click the More button once again, only this time we're going to point to background styles. While you're in there, go ahead and compare your screen to figure 3.5. You should see these background styles come up. And then eventually in step 2, you want to kind of go ahead and select the first row style that is labeled Style 2. And then it should look like figure 3.6. So again, we're on the first slide, going to Variants, More, Background Styles, and then in the first row is where you'll find Style 2. Go ahead and select that. Once you've compared it to this figure, go ahead and navigate to the next page. Step 3, we're going to go ahead and display slide 5. And then on the Design tab in the Variants group, once again, clicking More, we're going to go ahead and point to the background styles. And this time in the third row, we're going to right-click the third style, which is Style 11, to display the shortcut menu. We're going to do Click Apply to Selected Styles. So let's go ahead and do that here now that we're on this slide. So again, background styles once again. Third row, we're looking for Style 11. Right-click and Apply to Selected Styles. So what this allows us to do is, the initial step, because we didn't specify, applies that style to all slides. What you can do is, if you want to set a slightly different style for any individual slides, you can do it in the manner we just did. So that's kind of a way to sort of adjust them accordingly and not necessarily keep it all the same if that's not what you're looking for. Now in Activity 3.04, we're going to learn how to hide background graphics. So go ahead, in step 1, we're going to display slide 2. And as they point out, notice the bright green rectangle and line at the bottom of this slide, down the bottom there. So in step 2, on the Design tab in the Customize group, we're going to click Format Background. So we want to go Format Background. This brings up the Format Background pane on the right-hand side. So in step 3, you want to be sure that you're under Fill, which we are here. And if necessary, click Fill to display the options, but we don't have to, we're already there. Under Fill, we're going to select the Hide Background Graphics checkbox and then compare your slide with this figure 3.7. So right here. And then you can see the color space for here went away. Go ahead and go to the next page. Step 4, they indicate to leave the Format Background pane open for the next activity, so we'll do that. And go ahead and save your presentation. Now we're going to take a look at Activity 3.05, which is applying a background fill color to a slide. So in step 1, we're going to display slide 1. Go ahead and do that. In step 2, in the Format Background pane, which we have open on the right side, under Fill, we're going to verify that Solid Fill is selected, and if it isn't, we will select it. So I'm looking here, it is selected. To the right of the color, we're going to click the Fill color, and then we're going to be looking under Theme Colors, and we want the third column, second color. It should be Tan Background 2, darker 10%. So here's the color, and then I believe it was third column, second row, Tan Background 2, darker 10%. Then go ahead and compare your screen with figure 3.8. It should look like this. And then once again, go ahead and leave the Format Background pane open for your next activity, and we're going to save again. And now that we've saved, we're going to go ahead and move on to Activity 3.06, which is applying a background texture. So in step 1, the first thing we're going to do is display slide 2 again. In the slide thumbnails, we're going to hold down the Shift button, and we're going to click slide 4, and this will allow us to select all 3 of those slides at once. So over here in the slide thumbnails, hold down the Shift key, click the 4th slide, and you'll see how all 3 are now selected. In step 2, in the Format Background pane, under Fill, we're going to click the Picture or Texture Fill. So over here. Go ahead and go to the next page. In step 3, under Insert Picture From, to the right of Texture, we're going to click Texture. Right here. In the Texture Gallery, in the 3rd row, we're going to point to the 4th texture, which is recycled paper. So go ahead and take a look at that and compare it to this figure 3.9, and then go ahead and select it. So we're going to do that. So that's right here, recycled paper. And go ahead and select it. You'll see that that has changed, and it will be on all 3 of those slides that we've selected. It's changed this background here to that texture background. In step 5, once again, you can go ahead and leave the Format Background pane open for the next activity. You're going to save your presentation. And now that you've done that, what you want to do from here is continue on as we've done in prior chapters. In this case, you're going to pick up at activity 3.07 and continue to work through this objective as well as the others, and this will help you with all of the material in this chapter. You'll also be taking some of this knowledge from this week to work towards your final project, which includes a PowerPoint presentation. So as always, good luck, and if you have any questions throughout the week, be sure to check with your instructor. Have a great week.